This is Do Not Talk. I am Charlie Simons, and this is a very, very unusual show. Actually, obviously on location at the Barnyard Animal Rescue Nest. Yeah, I'd never heard about it. A friend of mine, Alexandra D. Lee, said, "You got to meet Tiffany." Tiffany introduced me to Brett, and here I am at the ranch. Hello, Tiffany. Hello, Brett.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
How are you all?
So
Who's this right here? Oh, thank you.
This is Miss Delilah. She also would love to say hello. Let's turn around, Delilah.
Is every single animal here a rescue, including the cat?
Every single animal. But there are a few that are our older original crew. We used to have miniature horses that we would show all around the United States, and we still have some of those original ones that are around 35 years old now. When I was
Your
little.
big dog's digging under the pin.
Noah.
Yes, he is. Noah,
Come
here, buddy.
Gigantic dog here, and he's still just
14
getting out,
months.
Just getting out of the
Teenager.
puppy phase, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Come here, buddy.
And
We'll
what
make you
is he again?
famous.
Come here, buddy boy.
He is a Great Pyrenees Anatolian Shepherd mix. This is
at this
Noah.
dog.
He's
Look
here
at
to
this
protect the Ark, all the critters, and he's doing a great job at it. We're really proud of him. Yeah, I know.
Oh my
I know,
goodness,
I know.
what a dog. What an amazing dog. I'm a dog guy. This cat has been all over me since we got here. You know what else has been all over me? Those two male turkeys you have strolling around.
Yes, Domino and Checkers.
And they were checking me out, and they were ruffling their feathers, and they were all upset that I was here, and that
they were happy you were here. They
were
wanted
happy?
to greet you.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that
they're
it?
greeting you. Oh yeah, they're
Oh,
so
they
happy.
were saying hello.
Very happy.
Happy, friendly turkeys that greet you.
They're taking a check. They're making sure that you are where you're supposed to be. Like
Giving
I said,
you an ocular pat down,
ocular pat
checking your
down.
ID, making
I said,
sure you have
yep,
the right credentials.
Yep, and
That's what
you passed. So way to go.
They kept following me around and doing their gobble gobble, and I was like, "What?" Finally, I sat down, and that's when they put their feathers down. When I finally sat down, it's hilarious.
Our bouncers in the house. They make sure to break up. And you didn't have it on video, but that was a fun moment. They go around. If any of our roosters, so we have quite a few roosters. A lot of people get baby chicks, and then they're unable to keep the roosters because they're within city limits, or other things start happening. So we have quite a few roosters, and all the roosters sometimes get a little picky with each other.
Oh, I've seen
it.
We're precariously balanced here, so your feet on theirs.
Is that okay?
Moving the camera.
Oh no, that's bad.
If you don't mind
I
taking
will put them
off.
down. There we go.
Right.
Aha.
Thank you. On a production
Couldn't
note.
tell that. I'm glad that you could.
We're live on location on an actual ranch, and an extraordinary one at that. You've done such a nice job. I mean, the place looks great, as we're going to see throughout this segment here on Do Not Talk. Do you watch podcasts at all, by the way?
I don't watch a lot.
I more so
things.
listen to them.
I never did either. All these years in broadcasting, radio and TV, I was like, podcast? Why would I do that? Nobody makes any money doing that. And so now here I am. But I have seen these roosters fighting each other.
Yep.
And now we got three going right now.
Blackjack. Okay, now where are Domino and Checkers?
Here's
Are they coming?
two others who are all upset.
Yo, bouncers.
Hear it? But what was hilarious, they said, watch these turkeys. They will break up the roosters when they start fighting. Because they've got free reign. These are free-range chickens all around here. And sure enough, two of them went at it right here on the other side of the camera. And those dad-blamed turkeys got right in the middle of it and separated them. That was the most hilarious thing. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, they've been great like that. We're really appreciative of having the two of them to make sure they break up those fights. So everyone's safe.
They're the alpha. They're the alphas of the alphas out here.
Size matters.
Well, being able to poof up.
So when how many acres here?
22.
Okay. How long have you been a rescue ranch?
We got our 501c3 status in 2018. However, we have been rescuing animals since I was little.
And when you say we, is that just you or?
So that is a good question. Always, and I've this originally.
Because it's my understanding for a long time you were out here by yourself.
There's that too.
You
There's
had
that
nothing,
time too.
nothing, honey. You had no one helping you.
During the pandemic, I had just lost my mother in March of 2020, so right at the start of the pandemic, and we now we as Brett and I, but originally we meant my mother and I. And we would be at the feed store, and we'd see a posting about a animal that needed a home, and so we would call and we would take in horses or turkeys or donkeys. And
So this 22-acre property up in the Plymouth, California area did not originally start out with the whole idea of that we're going to be a rescue animal ranch.
No, it just kind of took hold that after one and then another, and always having that mindset of, what does it hurt to have one more? Which we don't now. We don't do that anymore because
We have a lot of one more.
We have a
You
lot
got
of
a lot of
others.
pins, you got a lot of fencing, you got a lot of buildings, which is great. Who put all these up? Was it here already?
No. This was definitely the only thing here was the house and this back building over here, and then that one barn over there. Everything else
That
we
is
have
a
been
huge undertaking.
We have been building for years and cleaning and So I think it's come out quite nice.
Biggest
We do
I've
like
owned.
it.
I currently live on a 10-acre ranch, but I don't own it. Just live there. But the biggest property I ever had was 5.5 acres, and I was like, "Oh, good heavens! It's a lot of land to take care of."
Sure.
And I didn't have it. It wasn't on fence. I didn't have a bunch of. I had 6 dogs, but I didn't have any livestock. You have to worry about the mowing, all the property.
Well, thankfully, we
Two,
have a
three,
lot of
four.
mowers.
We do,
all
natural
the-
mowers.
The
Natural
horses and everybody
so
is
much
in the,
so that you have to actually buy feed.
Yes, lots of feed.
A lot of it.
A lot of
So
hay.
let's get to the numbers. How many animals do you have right now?
Right now, we just
Total,
we did
all
a count.
animals,
we just
how
did
many?
a count.
We did a count, 2 days
Did you?
ago.
Yes.
And the total?
A rough
it's
estimate.
A little over 200.
A little over 200.
200!
Yeah, most of them are birds.
Yes.
We have a lot
Over
of
100
birds. We
birds.
have so many roosters. That's the thing. And roosters are really hard to get adopted out, as I'm sure everyone can imagine. Nobody. They like the way they look.
Because they're obnoxious.
But, yeah, well, that they don't
They're
lay
not
eggs.
exactly cuddly and
They
sweet.
don't, but
they're
some of them can
beautiful.
be though. Yeah, and they're beautiful. So we have a bunch of birds. We have some peacocks that we got from.
I haven't seen the peacocks.
Yeah, they're over
We'll show
there.
them to you.
Guinea hens.
Yeah, the guinea hens,
Ducks,
turkeys, ducks,
chickens, geese.
all from various locations. So.
You just said what again? Peacocks.
Peacocks,
What else? That's 5. That's 6.
Different kinds. Yeah,
What
I
else
think
you got?
I think that's it on the birds.
Yes, and then
You want to move to furries?
Yeah, and then furries. We have a lot of kitties, and that we have kitties.
They're
we have
all
2
rescues
goats.
too?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. They
People bring them to you, or
We've had that. We have them just show up because I think we have a sign outdoors that has Meow Mix flashing, and they just come from all
Vacancy.
around.
I don't know where that sign is, but
we don't know where it
it's
is,
out there.
but it is.
It's somewhere on
We're
Latrobe.
like, oh look, there's another one, and then
cat
sometimes
language.
they come in injured as well. I'm not sure where they've come from, but they come in with different injuries, and so we heal them up and get them adopted.
that's what I was going to ask. Do
Yeah.
you also adopt them out?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But the one thing you don't have, just 2 little poodles and 1 big boy that we met.
Yep, no.
Not a lot of dogs.
2 goats.
How many horses though?
27 full-size horses.
27.
27 full-size horses,
And they all have to be fed every day.
Every day.
twice a day.
And I was just going to say, normally twice a day
It's
is
a
the
full-time
schedule.
job. It's a full. It takes us all day, and Brett has a full-time job, so it's me. This is my full-time job. Is all day, every day, feeding, cleaning.
Dude, that's
Cleaning.
noble.
Oh, thank
Cleaning
you.
the chicken pens, going and getting feed. Start early in the morning, and we don't finish until much later after dark. And it's a labor of love for sure, but one that I absolutely enjoy, and Brett does every day. There's so many, highs and lows of it. So
The low to me is because I'm a guy. I'm spontaneous. I love to go.
yeah, that's
we are spontaneous by nature, but we're grounded by necessity.
You can't.
Right.
You can't leave.
no.
Right.
Especially with this many animals. How are you
Correct.
going to get a neighbor to come in and take care of it, or
but
a family
we do
member?
have good volunteers.
You do have volunteers. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
They just show up on their own.
No, it's scheduled for sure. But we have one girl in particular who is actually in an anatomy test today, and I love her so much. She has been a volunteer here for 5 years. She's 20 years old, And she
started as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And we have a lot of kids actually. The volunteer 13-year-old girls are coming over on Sunday, and they're going to be helping me clean the pens. But this one particular volunteer, we have Tony. She's
Shout out to Tony.
Shout out Tony. We love you. Yeah, she can come in here and she rocks everything and
all by
allows
herself,
it so that we can get away here and there every once in a while.
For a night or two.
Yeah.
We can get away. She takes care of the whole place.
Yeah, 'cause
Everyone.
You just can't.
It's a lot.
Man,
Medication.
where I am now, we have 3 quarter horses and 4 head of cattle, goat, sheep, and a miniature donkey.
Oh, see, you have
Quite
yeah.
obnoxious, by the way. I noticed you have some donkeys.
Yes.
You have full size.
Yes, we have full size.
Yeah, let's run down all the furries.
Okay. All right, yes, back to the furries.
Here we go. 27 horses.
And then we
all
have
different breeds.
11 donkeys of various, both full size and miniature.
How do you rescue a donkey? It's not like they're real prevalent.
Well, owner
Unless
surrenders.
you go to Nevada, of course.
There's owner surrenders. We have quite a few older donkeys. Our oldest donkey is Molly. She's a miniature donkey, and we'll show her to you. She's so special. She's 43. 43.
Dang, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we actually have her papers. They were transferred along with all of her life, and so we have Molly. She's 43, and then Rosie
our
and
cute
Skip.
little old lady.
Yeah, she's got a bubble butt too.
She does.
She's really cute. Yeah, super cute. But she doesn't have any. Her jaw is really off, and so she is only able to eat really wetted pellets, which is the situation with a lot of our older donkeys. Our other 2, Skip and Rosie, they're 38, I think is where they are. Same thing. So owner surrender, we've had some that we've gotten from the kill pen as well.
Because they normally 35 years.
They can live.
max.
Donkeys can
Can they?
up to 50. Yeah,
Can they?
yeah. Donkeys live a long time.
I'm
Horses
thinking
more
about
so.
horses,
Yeah,
yeah.
horses more so. But donkeys have a long lifespan, good memory too, and very family oriented. It's really important that they stick together.
Not Ralph. Not where I live.
Oh, well,
he's just
maybe
a mean ass.
Well, there is that too. There's all animals have that. There's some that in each breed.
Well, there's also something else.
we have to keep him separated from the sheep because her name's
Oh.
Dolly.
Dolly. Oh, how nice.
He'll come up and grab her by the wool and just fling her.
Oh, wow.
Rose her.
Oh, he is not nice to Dolly.
Nice.
Oh.
Little jerk.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, none of the donkeys tried to do that when
No.
when I got my initiation here.
Yes.
You were
yes.
initiated.
Yes.
And what did
Very
that entail?
special, which you will experience today as well.
Okay.
Super important.
Oh, we may have to
Okay.
get a picture of this.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So she said, you haven't really been initiated here until you've kissed one of the donkeys.
Uh-huh.
She said they have the softest lips ever.
Their noses. They're so
Eventually, they
soft.
warmed up to me, and I smooched one real good. And they do very, very
Kiss the
soft
muzzle.
lips.
No
Yeah.
tongue. No tongue.
No tongue.
No
No.
Okay, all right. Back to the rundown. We had
Kisses.
27 horses,
Yes.
7 donkeys.
11.
Oh, 11.
A mixture between
7-11.
full size.
Yeah.
7-11.
7 come 11. And then what?
We have miniature horses, 2 goats.
How many miniature
one,
horses?
14 miniature horses.
14?
And like I said, a lot of those are our original miniatures, and we've had them and we will have them until the end of their lives, because that's what I believe in, is being able to keep those guys. So they will stay here. We have Atlas and Voodoo and
They all have names.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely.
All of them.
Oh, yeah, everybody. And Tinkerbell and Shyla.
Well, see, I grew up on cattle ranches, and you never name what you're going to eat.
No.
Yes, we have.
Never
we have
make a
That
pet
means
out
we
of
One
it.
can't
cow.
eat any of our animals.
No, we have
Well, they all have names.
one cow, Annie. She was an orphan, and because it is very expensive to bottle feed a cow if they don't have the mother, and the mother had died, so we got her from a local rancher, and we bottle fed Annie along with Sandra D, another cow that had the same situation. Sandra D has been adopted along with 3 others of the cows that we had. So now we just have 1 cow.
Just one cow.
Just 1 cow, 1 pig, Paris.
A pig.
1 pig.
Okay.
He's a pot-bellied pig.
4
Okay.
llamas.
4 llamas.
4 llamas.
Yep.
4 alpaca.
4 alpaca.
Uh-huh.
2 pygmy goats.
Yep, the goats I said. The goats
Those
I
are
said.
hilarious. Those are so dang funny.
They're real cute.
Are we missing anybody?
who are
I
we
think that's it. I think that's to do a little circle. I always feel like I forget someone.
This is a tremendous undertaking, and it's obviously has to be a labor of love, because I don't think you're getting wealthy doing this.
No, it's
Absolutely
the
Do
opposite.
you take donations?
We do take donations.
Is that the only way you survive, or do you also sell animals? Or
They're adoption. We have
is there an adoption fee?
Correct. Yeah.
But for example, a
that
good quarter
doesn't-
horse, you've got some out there you even have a thoroughbred out there.
Mm-hmm,
You could make several thousands of dollars selling one of them.
Generally, our adoption fees are $550 for a companion animal for some of the full-size horses, just with lower adoption fees on them, because it is really hard to find companion animals homes, especially with the prices of hay right now have doubled in what they were just a few years ago. It was $11 a bale, now it's $30 a bale, which is crazy. And then some of our more adoptable, when I say more adoptable, I mean our rideable younger horses, those can be about $2,000 for their adoption fee. Horses are becoming where we could charge a little bit more, I suppose, at this time, because the prices have gone up on everything, including good horses as well. But it's mainly about us finding the correct home. We want the right match, and so if it's the right home, then we'll definitely try and lower an adoption fee. But the adoption fees helps us feed the other animals. It's a tough.
What's the
balance.
how many years now you've been doing this?
We've been, would say my whole life. So I'm now in my 40s, but more recently since 2015.
Okay. What's the one thing that I know COVID had to be tough, but actually I would think that if somebody was of the mindset that I am, which is there's no better place to be in such an environment than outside,
Yes.
I'd be volunteering here like crazy if my business was shut down or I couldn't go to work. I'd be here like crazy. Did you have a lot of help then?
The thing was, I had just gone through losing my mother, and like I said, in March of that year, and so my mother was my best friend. She was everything. She was my rock. She was my partner in crime. She was like, we were two peas in a pod every single day, which is why I initially moved back here, was to be with her. And so I was going through trying to understand how to just kind of survive every day without her, missing my best friend. So I needed to grapple with those emotions, and I wasn't as open to having as many volunteers here at that time.
Oh, shoot.
So
I got you.
It was
the timing of it.
The timing was hard, but I do have I had some friends that would come over, and it definitely did allow for people to be able to volunteer and be outside.
Tell me about a lean time that you thought, I don't know if we're going to be able to keep doing this. We don't have enough feed to even keep feeding the animals, much less ourselves.
Now.
Right now is that time.
Now.
Interesting.
Now.
Well, it's no accident when you're in Christ Jesus. I mean, that obviously I'm here then for a reason. Obviously I'm here for a reason. Because I never knew about you. So a friend of mine said, hey, I want you to meet Tiffany. Okay.
It's been harder since I did lose my mother. There was additional, she was, I was able to work at that time, and she was working. We were able to kind of balance out taking care of the animals and bringing in income. And so with losing her, I also lost a lot of financial resources at that time as well. And so that's just been...
Oh, because you were no longer working. This was your full-time gig.
Yeah.
And it is a full-time gig.
And it is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of depleted the resources over the years. Has just consistently gotten to be less and less and less and harder to maintain.
Okay. What can people do to help besides, of course, making donations?
Sharing.
Which we'll give all that information on how to do that towards the end. But right now, I want to focus on sharing about what you do.
Sharing about what we do.
But I'll bet getting some of these animals adopted out.
Absolutely.
Lower the costs.
Yeah.
lower the
Absolutely.
costs, and also sponsorships. If anybody is willing to sponsor an animal, just like you sponsor a child,
you can do that.
over in Africa who's starving.
Okay.
You know, we have animals here that can be sponsored, and that is a recurring feed, a way to take
I want
care
to
of
sponsor
them.
that amazing mayor out there with all those incredible markings.
Oh, Spirit. Yes, Spirit
There's
is
this horse
beautiful.
that I've never seen markings on a horse like
And
this.
she's
Beautiful.
up for adoption. She's
In my
on our
life.
website.
Oh, good, good. And that's a $550 adoption fee.
She's a little bit more. She's going to be around $1,250 because she's a project horse, but she's very adoptable. But she does need some work, and she's a teenager. So
A teenager at 12, you said, 13? Rideable?
well, in her teens.
Are they rideable, all of them? Or some
no.
of them, like that's when you say a project horse.
Or when she says a companion horse, that would be one that wouldn't be rideable.
Right.
You know, they're a little older, or they have had a past injury that
Some
maybe
injuries.
it's just safer that they are not ridden.
Got it.
We have a number of those, but there are definitely a number of horses that are very rideable. Some of them, a few of them right out of the gates, but most of them would need a little bit of TLC, a little tune-up.
Well, as soon as you, with all these roosters pecking around here, I'd imagine you get a lot of chicks come spring, come Easter time. But
We try and not have that happen.
yeah,
Every once in a while it does. A hen finds a place to lay some eggs that we don't find, but no chicks. So.
no chicks, because as soon as you adopt them out, these goofballs are making more.
Yes.
Yeah, we try and keep track of all of them, but every now and then one of the ladies, she'll be missing.
One
Like
of the
she's hiding.
ladies.
She's hiding somewhere on a new nest, so we try and keep track of them.
Chicken tramps. I think it's fantastic. When I pulled up, a lot of places like this are just, I mean, when you have so many animals, that means a lot of waste to take care of. Where do you put all, I mean, I'm thinking of dog rescues. That's a full-time job, just getting rid of all the waste. Feeding and getting rid of the waste. You don't
true.
really have to worry about that here because you have a pasture and the horses do their thing out there naturally, and so do all the other animals. So you don't really have to think about that. What's one thing I'm not thinking of, though, that like, oh, if you only knew how tough it is.
As far as
Running this place, besides the money.
I'd say one of the hardest things is the losses. You know, like we do have a lot of older animals, and that's been hard.
That is not cheap, having someone come out and take out the...
as well.
You're right. It's not.
Unless you have yourself a bobcat and you're burying them on the property.
No, we.
I don't even
we
know if
don't
that's
do that.
legal in the county, is it?
I think in Amador it is.
Oh, you're in Amador, not
Yeah.
El Dorado?
It's nice.
Okay.
We like it out here.
I do too.
But it's just it's emotionally it's really hard.
You're still there.
Can't see for sure, but
It would be.
you
but
know, these are animals that we've had
these
for
are things
years,
that people
and
don't think about, though.
we've taken them in from hard situations, and you watch them become prosperous. And you know, we lost a pony that each year that I don't know if they're still doing it actually, but the Humane Society would put on a day where you can give up your horse and no questions asked, which is really helpful, and it's great. Like that needs to be more of a thing, an opportunity for people to do, so that they don't just not neglect the horse or anything like that. And so that event happened to be here in Plymouth, and my mother and we didn't even realize it was going on. We just saw a bunch of horse trailers and we pulled in, and lo and behold, since we are a rescue and we started talking to the people there, they asked if we could take a pony because all the other rescues were far away, and this walked down into this like kind of a back barn area that was lowered, and here was this little like pony, and she just looked sad and thin, and so we said of course we would take this pony that way that she wouldn't get injured in another trailer being driven farther away. And we named her Pumpkin. Pumpkin was in her 30s, and she had been here and just great, one of my just very nice, and we just recently lost her, and that's the emotional part of It's hard. It's hard to say goodbye.
And Tiffany she takes pride in all these animals. We both do. We get very close to them. We take care of them every single day, and everyone is difficult whenever we do lose one. And one of the other unexpected things is when you have this many animals, there's always at least someone that's not well. Someone's sick. Someone has an injury. As great of lives as they live here, it's inevitable
cancer.
when you have that many animals.
A lot of cancer, you're saying.
Cancer. Yeah,
Where's that come from?
That's a good question. We have one.
And the feed?
I wouldn't think so. I would hope not. We have a cat right now, Gus. He's a older cat,
awesome.
an older cat that his owner died, and the cleaning lady saw that this cat was still in the house, kind of a similar situation. People just leave the animals, and the kids that were selling their dad's house said just let the cat out, but he had always been an inside cat. And so through the grapevine we ended up with him, and we have Gus. His name used to be Bandit. We had another Bandit, so we renamed him Gus. But now we've had Gus for about 4 years, and we just took him in to get a dental, and they said that he actually has cancer of the mouth, so we're doing palliative care at home, and it's very sad and mystery.
How is this going on? Where's this coming from?
I mean, the humankind has tried to figure that out for a long time. Where's all this cancer coming from, too? But it's prevalent in animals, too, unfortunately.
I know, but it didn't used to be.
Yeah,
when I was growing up on ranches and so on, you didn't hear about that kind of stuff really going on like that. As prevalent as it sounded like.
Mystery. We just had to put down a kitty on right after Christmas. That was hard.
Too young, only 7 years old.
Only 7 years old. He had a tumor the size of his heart next to his heart, and it's just it's
difficult to make, a lot of these difficult decisions too, and they're costly. Also But we've also
costly.
But
vet bills.
But there's been many times where there's been vets that have told her, pull the plug. This one's it's just easier if you do that. And Tiffany's has a great pulse with these animals, and they're animals that have lived with us for years beyond what the vet said.
We have amazing vets, but
and yes, we do.
We have great vets. We do.
But best. These animals when it is time, but
and then we make that tough decision. It's never fun.
Never an easy decision.
So that's probably.
I hadn't considered that. I hadn't thought about that.
But the best days are when we find an animal the perfect home, and then they're doing really good in that home, and that's what carries me consistently is the future.
Don't forget the weather. This whole feeding and taking care of and grooming and all the stuff that has to do with all these different animals, and some of them I'm sure you had no idea how to take care of an alpaca.
Yeah, there's research for sure.
Stop spitting, llama. The things you have to learn and go through, and they all have different kinds of feed. This is so daunting, I can't even imagine it. The sheer logistics of it.
That's true. And recognizing illnesses immediately so you can get on top of things, and trying to teach people that's also a big challenge, because people do want to volunteer, and you want them to be able to volunteer, but they also have to recognize these things. So when they're doing the feeding, for instance, when we have people that help us and feed, most important thing is recognizing that if a horse is not coming to the feeding trough, that means something's wrong. And if I'm not doing the feeding, then I need to make sure that the person that is able to communicate that something's going on. So, but yeah, all the different types of feed, there's the older horses get something, get glucosamine, and the different, the Equiox, which is good for arthritis, and so there's a ton of medications for each animal too, and it's definitely, and the different types of feed.
Sister, this is crazy.
It is a little crazy, honestly. It really is. It's totally crazy, and I didn't necessarily mean it to turn into where we had so many animals, but it does.
What's the most you've ever had?
Well, that would
because I understand you've had 3
under.
times the amount of horses you've.
Yes.
Currently have. It sounds like.
So we stopped at 45 full-size horses when we stopped intaking full-size horses.
You had 45.
We had 45.
I'm sorry. I thought you said 60-something.
Well, if you include the
but
miniatures.
But even 45, good heavens.
Oh, yeah. And,
include the miniatures, then, you're up in the 60s.
Tomorrow, our farrier is coming, so we'll spend the morning trimming hooves, and that's definitely a full day, too. And when you have that many horses, it's a lot. It's a lot of hooves.
Yeah, farrier is what you call somebody who does the horse shoeing. and trimming of the hooves and so on.
Which has to be done every 8 weeks.
Especially in the winter, when there's a lot of wet around.
Yeah,
and
they
they're
can get
standing around in mud.
abscesses and things like that. Thankfully, none of ours are in mud. We have a lot of land out there.
Oh, you do? It's beautiful.
Yeah,
You've done such a great job. I'm so proud of you. I can hardly believe it.
I appreciate you saying that. It's a lot of hard work every day. And,
I'm
like
so
you said,
proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm also amazed you said your age, because I would guess you maybe were just getting close to breaking 30.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you.
No, it's
I
not.
appreciate
I'm
that.
very, very serious.
Good genetics. I was
just
lucky with that. And I definitely, the sun, let me tell you, in the summertime, I'm like,
well, that's what I was going to say, and that's why I brought up the weather. Because I know a lot of, especially women who are spending a lot of time outside and riding horses and so on, they kind of, they start, remember the line in, what was that movie with Billy Crystal and...
which one? You know
the City Slickers?
He looks like a saddlebag.
The guy. That's such a funny movie. I love that one. That's good.
It's true.
It is.
Leathery.
Yes. Well, I've taken to sunscreen lately, so, not today.
He said he looks like an old catcher's mitt.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he did say that.
He said that too.
And the weather is challenging, especially, in the winter, in the summer and in the winter. In the summer, it's so hot and you're just covered in sweat and the hay is sticking to you. And in the winter,
that blame hay gets in everywhere.
It's raining and it's pouring and you're out there on the tractor and trying to feed everybody. And it's the weather can be... You're like, okay, I'm going to do it again. Here we go.
You're actually here at a very nice time right now.
It's
beautiful. Right
now. February
is a nice
really
sweet spot.
It is wonderful, and I'm glad I met you all, and I want to help. How do we do that? Where do we go? What do we do?
Our website's a good place to start. It's barnyardanimalrescuenest.org.
Say that again.
Barnyard Animal Rescue Nest.org, because we accept all birds and feathers. That's where the nest part comes in. It's also, I think it's on the shirt. As far as, well, no, that's our Facebook. We have our Facebook, which you can see a lot of updates and.
Got that banner in the background too.
Yeah, the banner's nice.
Where else can we find you? How can we help?
You mentioned on Facebook as well.
Facebook, Instagram. We do have a TikTok. It's not as elaborate, but I'm working on that still. So. But what we really need help with also is people that could help us with things like I need help with our website, updating it. There's things that I don't get a lot of opportunity to sit down. I need help with writing grants. We need help with cleaning things. There's definitely
we're not having an earthquake. That was the dog.
Sorry about that.
rubbing up against the table.
There's lots of ways that we could use help. We could use help with picking up food. We could use help with cleaning things around here. We could. There's so many different.
You know what this is great for?
Huh?
This is great for the parents watching right now with that teen or preteen that's just laying around doing a lot of nothing.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, starting to work on ranches when I was just a kid in the summer and so on, it wasn't a choice. And I'm so glad I grew up that way.
Mm-hmm. I am too.
I really am.
It does. You learn a lot of responsibility. You definitely learn.
It changed my attitude. It made me, instead of a goofy little nerdy band geek, turned me into not a too bad cowboy. Did all right for a while there, at least doing rodeo and the whole thing.
Oh, did you?
Yes. A little bit.
You're still all together. I'm impressed. Good job.
You're still upright after all that.
There's a lot of metal parts. A lot of metal parts. Anyway, I admire and respect people who do this, and whether they chose to do it or whether it was just kind of like Tiffany here. It started out as a hobby and it just kind of went crazy and took on a life of its own. But now that is your life, and this is doing God's work as far as I'm concerned. This is doing God's work. What would happen to a lot of these animals? What kind of life would they have? We've seen signs, and I'm sure you have, of abused animals, probably to the point that it's almost heartbreaking, and it makes you angry at people in general.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I have too.
Yeah, people are good, and there's other people that don't care as much, especially for other human life or animal life.
We wish we could do more.
Yeah,
wish
we
we
wish
could
we
help
could do
more.
more.
There's so many animals that need help.
It's consistently, we get emails every day about, can you please help us with our horse or our cow or another rooster? And sadly, we are at maximum capacity, and that's really hard to tell people.
It
It's
is.
so hard, and we can give them other places to reach out, but it's definitely...
It is a very specialized thing. There's not exactly a lot of places like this that take in big animals.
That's true as
Right.
well.
It might be a
because they're
dog rescue, a
expensive.
cat rescue, or a combination of both, but taking in big animals, no.
That's true.
And even during, I remember all the flooding and the fires,
And
all
the
the
fires.
fires we've had around here.
Yeah,
This, here's your place to go if if you've been evacuated. By the way, no large animals, and there's no place to take them. I know that
or they
the,
max out.
the fairgrounds here in Plymouth was one of the few places
True.
that was taking
Right.
large
Yep.
animals.
And then
right?
Bobby Lafton also, she's a local person she has a nice big ranch, so she was able to take in quite a few. And we had been struggling, and hopefully not this year, with water issues ourselves, so it was harder for us to be able to take in.
You've had to
anymore.
drill
3 wells.
3 wells, and that is a thousands of dollars proposition.
And we're
Unless
working
you have
on
the
our-
equipment to do it yourself.
No, we're working on possibly needing our 4th
Oh,
well.
good heavens!
Yeah, that's a
do
big
they have to
struggle in the
cap
summer.
the ones that
No,
aren't?
they're still going. We have a generator up on the one that's up on the hill because it would be too expensive to get electricity all the way up there. We have one over there and one over there. The problem is they each only function at 2 to 3 gallons per minute, which is just not enough water.
No.
Not
and
for
then
us,
not for
but
us.
No.
not in the summer.
for
That's where we
Yeah.
we definitely
And
tap
every
out sometimes.
drop goes towards the animals.
Yeah, they all
Every
get
drop.
water first.
So we may not get showers. I think I sadly had to go 8 days without a shower last year, and that was a really long
Yeah, we
time.
went and bathed in the river.
Bathed in the river. We bathed in one of the horse troughs.
I bathed in a horse trough. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's funny.
That's also a rite of passage around here.
Yeah,
too.
that was-
So,
That's hilarious.
That was a box I didn't know I needed to check.
Yeah,
And now it is.
yeah.
it's a little,
So it's Barnyard Animal Rescue Nest.org. Barnyard Animal Rescue Nest.org.
which is
a mouthful,
the
but-
barn for short.
The barn. Oh,
barn.
there you go.
Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Barnyard Animal Rescue Nest. Thank you so much for all you do and for meeting with me and for
Thank
being on the
you
show.
so much for coming
Oh,
out here. We
man, it was
love
a
being
pleasure.
able
Very
to
nice meeting you.
show you everybody and show off, what we are doing out here. So
I'm Charlie Simons. This is Do Not Talk, talking about the 2 things you're never supposed to talk about, religion and politics, and whatever else comes along.
animals.
Thank you so much to Kirk Tashawn, my producer, for always making everything look and sound better than it does in real life. And thank you to you for liking, supporting, sharing. Obviously, this is a vital show for you to share. I ask you to please do that on your social media. Call attention to what they're doing here. Obviously, they need help right now. So thank you so much for getting involved and helping with the show and helping it to grow. And until next time, may God bless you. May God bless America. Most importantly, may America bless God.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Absolutely.